Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me.
Hi, this is Jan Lewis. Welcome to the guest. Back we have Thomas D'Agostino, and he is an author. He's a paranormal researcher, and what was the last part?
Investigator.
I'm going to write that. You know, he's got such a long title. He's driving me nuts. Okay. And I expected to see his wife, but she's busy today. She couldn't make it. We got two things to talk about here. You got a brand new book. Hold it up, Tom. Ghosts of King Philip's War. That's in Rentham.
Well, yeah, actually it's all over. This part of Massachusetts, in eastern Massachusetts, southeast Massachusetts, is very, very heavy with the King Philip's War and the ghosts. So they're like, you're in the middle of...
yeah, I didn't know.
You're in the middle of the King Philip's War ghost territory.
I had no idea that was such a heavy thing over there, over in Rentham.
Yeah, the war itself was the bloodiest war ever fought in American soil.
Yeah.
And it was... they were not soldiers fighting. They were actually trying to annihilate each other's race. So they were attacking villages.
You gotta be kidding.
No, that's how it was fought.
Where the high school is, was that where part of the problem was?
Oh, there's a lot of it. It's all over. The battlefields were everywhere around New England.
Who was King Philip?
King Philip was Metacom. He was the son of Massasoit, which Massasoit means great chief. When the Pilgrims came here, they became friends and made a pact. He was the son. And he actually took on the name Philip so he could communicate better with the English.
I love the smell of a new book. Did you do the cover?
Yeah, actually, Arlene took that picture.
Arlene, that's his wife.
Because King Philip's War effectively ended in 1676, but it went on till 1704, basically with the Indians and the French getting involved later, and in like Maine and everything. It was going on in 1698, and so it never really stopped until the 1700s, when finally the skirmishes and the attacks of villages and everything.
The French got involved in
the French got involved later on. Yeah, the English drove the English drove the French out. So after they drove the native indigenous peoples out, the French and them got together and said, "Hey, let's go back after them."
I see this listed in Indigenous Legends, Purgatory Chasm, right over here in Whitensville, Northbridge, Whitensville. Oh, I've been there many times. We've had deaths over there, people falling from the rocks.
Oh, yeah.
You couldn't catch me to go up on one of those. They are very dangerous.
Yeah.
I don't recommend it. I mean, if you're curious, go for it. But
I go up there, but I don't get too close to the edge.
You guys, you did your homework. You look at this. Tom D'Agostino, our resident paranormal investigator and author. How long did it take you to write this one? I hadn't heard about it.
Well, over the years, we were collecting things anyway. But then when we decided, like, okay, we're going to have to do this book because they want us to, then we went around for like 6 or 7 months, just going to all these places and anywhere we could that existed, and then writing the book.
I hadn't heard of it. I'm so glad you brought it.
A lot of people have it. They call it the Forgotten War because it's not taught in schools or anything.
What was King Philip's dream?
Well, at first he just wanted to get along with the English because his father did. His father and the original Pilgrim settlers were best friends. But after about 50 years, they both died off. And then the English started wanting land, and they started taking it from the indigenous peoples, and he just wanted to not have that not happen. And what ended up is when they executed a few of his council for a murder that was probably framed, and we'll never know, and a few other things that led to an attack on Swansea, which led to the war.
What's the green north? I know Carver, Mass.
Yeah.
What was that?
Oh, the old green there. Yeah, there was a green village green where I think indigenous people actually, after they attacked a village, they washed all the blood off their hand, and they said the blood ran through the spring for years after. But now they got rid of the spring and everything, so you won't have that. I
hope so.
But I guess it's I guess the ghost and the energy is still there.
Where's the Second River?
Oh, the Secana, that's in Rhode Island.
Where
It's part of if you go. It's a huge river. It's part of East Providence area down there. East Providence goes that way.
Sure.
Yeah, and right through Bristol, and it's a very wide river.
Where's the last place you appeared, Tom? Giving your presentations. Where's the last place you've been, or where are you going next?
Oh, presentations. Well, we did a ton of them in all the way through December. And then we decided to, after it was the second week of December, we were like, we can't do any more things because, Christmas and everything. But we're starting up again. We're doing some Dining with the Dead ghost,
It's
interactive
Sturbridge,
ghost,
right?
yeah, interactive ghost hunt events at the Public House in Sturbridge, at the Colonial Inn in Concord, at the Carriage Inn in North Kingston, the Tavern on Main in Chepachet. So we'll be doing those again.
You got a lot to do. Have you been up to, I think you have, Deb Horan's The Book Lovers Gourmet?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we
Doesn't he
do book
look
signings
like-
there. We love doing them there,
Oh,
yeah.
she's terrific. Doesn't
Yeah.
he look like Ozzy Osbourne? They took his show off. He is not doing well. He has
Yeah.
Parkinson's.
Yeah.
He is in rough shape. But I think all that chunk he did, for years, I think he really put the nail to himself.
Yeah, plus the fact that he survived all that.
He's a what?
He survived it, actually. We did a show with Jack Osborne a few years ago. His, was it with the Ghost Brothers?
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah, Fright Night or something. With the Ghost Brothers. And he said I looked like his father.
Jack is cool.
Yeah, he is.
To me, he
yeah.
doesn't look much like either one of them.
No.
Neither does the daughter.
No, I know. Probably a mixture.
It's a really big. We're talking with our good friend Tom D'Agostino, and he is a paranormal investigator, author. You can find a copy of this book over at the Upton Town Library in the dedicated author section. Tom, how can people get a hold of you if they'd like to get your book or have you come and speak?
They can get a hold of me through www.tomdagostino.com or www.diningwiththedead1031.com, and we do presentations about everywhere in New England. We actually customize the presentations also. Some people say, oh, can you do one on this section of, Massachusetts? Sure. And I put them together because we got that's 18th book right there.
Now, is that a tombstone on the cover?
Yes.
I can't, the what?
40 people who were massacred in Deerfield. Deerfield was attacked several times. Yeah, lucky that place is even standing. Yeah, it was attacked a couple of times. And there was one guy, John Stebbins, which is kind of funny because he was in one massacre, then he was in a Deerfield massacre, and he was the only one who got out of one of the massacres totally unscathed.
Yeah, he did.
Everyone else was either killed or badly injured, and he got out of it right down unscathed.
He got lucky.
In Brookfield, yeah.
Tom has done a great job of pictures. I love it when you do this.
Yeah,
This
Arlene
is
loves taking the
Plymouth Town
pictures.
Square. He has a Plymouth Town Square has a plaque on a stone. The Metacomet King Philip. Metacomet.
Metacomet, yeah.
What's that?
That was him. Or Metacomet.
The Indians named him that?
Yeah, that was his original real name.
And the French got in on this?
And the French got in on it later, yeah. The Indians, the Indians actually had better rifles.
You're kidding.
No, they just didn't have the war tactic that the English had. They did a lot of ambushing, but just for some reason, the English managed to beat them, even though they had better rifles and in some cases outnumbering.
Well, all 40 men it says we're buried in one grave.
Yeah,
How do you
massacre.
do that?
It was a big mass grave. It takes up a huge chunk.
Yeah, but were they in coffins or just...
No, they didn't have coffins. No, they didn't. That was something they couldn't do in
What's
enough time.
Devil's Rock?
Hmm?
What's Devil's Rock?
Devil's Foot Rock? There's one in there's a lot of different devil's places, but this one in Kingston, Rhode Island, is where supposedly there's 3 different stories about it, but the devil left his hoof prints in the rock while running up the rock. One of them is he took a woman who had killed a settler, and he followed behind her because, of course, now she was a bad sinner and everything. And when he got close to her and she started to run, he grabbed her and he ran up the rock where his footprints burned into the rock and took off with her.
I'm looking at Old Man of the Mountain in New Hampshire. What has that got to do with Devil's Rock?
Oh, Old Man of the Mountain, Devil's Rock. There's one in Massachusetts, which they say they swore had the face of Massasoit, the great chief. It actually collapsed, but they called it Massachusetts Old Man of the Mountain, and that's where King Philip used to go with his council to meditate and do
Really?
meetings. Yeah,
Right up there in New Hampshire?
right here in Freetown,
Right
Mass.
here in
Yeah.
Because I went to college up in the White Mountains near that area. What's Indian Corner Road in Washington County, Rhode Island?
Yeah, that's cool because Indian Corner Road, they had a big boulder there that once you could tell where the road goes because of the snow. And it's a small back road, it still is. And they believe that some Indians were killed there and buried near or under the boulder, but one of them was beheaded, and it sits God there, and it would sit God there, guarding over the others, like as if. And they've seen it come out of the ground, like this body come out of the ground in flames. And there's another story about the guy found a skull and he brought it home on his way back when he was digging the road.
Was he married?
Yeah, and his wife made him put it outside.
Yeah.
And then in the middle of the night, they heard this clackety, 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 and it was a skeleton looking for his head.
Tom,
A lot of legends, but...
what was your first experience? Is it with a kid?
Yeah.
What happened?
My very first time I actually saw like a ghost was when I was fishing with my father. I was 12 years old, and he took me to Foster, Rhode Island, which was really backwoods country. It still is. I'm actually a town official for it now.
Where was it?
Foster, Rhode Island.
Gloucester, yep.
Foster, yeah. And we were fishing in this little pool, and he crossed the stream, and he went that way. And about 2 minutes later, I'm fishing in the pool, and this woman comes with an old beat-up dress and a wooden bucket, and she dips the bucket down in the water and heads that way toward him. Now, there's only a path, and it's all briars and brush, a very thin path. He comes walking down, not even a minute later, I'm saying, "Did you see that woman?" He never saw her. He never saw anything. And there's no way you could get off the path, because that's how dense the brush is along the river.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wow. So a year later, I'm reading a story in Observer magazine, a local magazine, and it tells about the ghost of Dolly Cole and how they see her, and she went to dip her bucket in that pool of water, but the stream was running so hard, the bucket dragged her in, and she hit her head on the rocks and drowned.
A real
in
thing.
1860, yeah.
And when? 1860?
1860, yeah. And we found out later, it's Betsy Grayson they were talking about, actually. The ghost of Betsy Grayson. That was my first real encounter with a ghost.
So you were how old?
12.
And then when did it really begin to hit you that I want to get into this?
Oh, I always wanted to. I just loved it. I loved ghost stories and horror stories. The thing is, though, when we were growing up, you'd buy a book and there'd be all these haunted houses, but you couldn't go there.
No.
Like, you'd go there, they sick their Doberman on you or something. So I wanted to write about places people could go visit.
You've got lots of books where people can go.
Yeah, 18 books, yeah. And so we started writing about places you can actually visit and go to and maybe experience stuff. And we always said, if you find something, the people we talk to when we do the book signings, we give them a card. Email us. Tell us what happened. Tell us what you think about the place, because we always love to hear the feedback about the places as well.
This is amazing. And so, did you go to college?
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
Rhode Island College.
What'd you study?
Political science, music, and business management.
Well, you're doing your business management on your own. And what was the other one?
Political science.
Yeah, I don't see.
And music.
Are you a music?
Yeah.
You like, what's your favorite? The Aussies?
No, actually, among my favorites is Richard Thompson and Frank Zappa, Queen, Terry Kath of Chicago, great guitar player.
Chicago.
Yeah, I loved them when I was a kid.
What about Kiss?
Kiss, they're cool. I partied with them once. I mean,
You're kidding
yeah.
me. You know,
1978.
Who's that guy? I really like him. My favorite was Spaceman. The Spaceman. He was dressed as the Spaceman in Kiss.
Oh, there was Ace Frehley,
and Ace,
the guitar player.
Ace.
We did a Terracon with him about 12 years ago.
You did. Do you go to the December? What's Porter's first name? Sorry. What's his name? Steve Porter. He used to run the December Authors Expo in Rhode Island. They had to move, but still in Rhode Island. Do you go? Because you would be fascinated, and they love you.
No, I've never
You've
been
gotta
invited.
go.
We've done the other ones, the Horror Depot one with Josh Darlin.
This
and
is
stuff.
gigantic, Tom.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you prefer not so big?
No, it doesn't matter to us, big or small.
Okay, let me
We
write
just
down and
love-
send you some info.
Yeah, we just love talking to everyone and sharing, how they share stories with us and,
Okay.
and experiences and just hearing what everyone has to say and hanging
it's-
out.
It's amazing. We went. It was first of all, it was in Cranston, but the building they couldn't do it again. The building was falling apart. You walk in there, and it was table to table to table of authors of all different genres.
Yeah, that's cool, yeah.
Maybe 4 different aisles. They had classes going on upstairs. They have now since moved to a lovely hotel in Rhode Island. I can't remember where it is. It's easy to get to. And
There's one in Warwick.
I don't know. It could be it.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you his information. He'll know. And I think you would absolutely love it because I don't know if there's anyone like you in there. Oh, there's no one like Tom. Yeah,
That's what my wife
Tom
says.
again. How can people reach you?
Oh, yeah, they can again reach me at www.tomdagostino.com or www.diningwiththedead1031.com. And that'll also have our email address and phone so people can call or email us about any questions, or if they have like one of our books and they say, I went to this place, it's awesome, this happened, because we love hearing that. We love
Tom,
hearing it.
can you spell your last name for our people?
Oh, capital D apostrophe A Gostino.
Now, I got another surprise. Well, maybe it's not a surprise to a lot of people who see Tom on here. But he writes for the Blackstone Valley Express. And, the latest one was Molly Pitcher. And she also read tarot cards. Tell us about Molly.
Oh, Mal Pitcher, yeah. She was actually the granddaughter of John Diamond, who was supposed to be the wizard of Marblehead. He could stand at the top of Burial Hill and guide ships in from hundreds of miles away and stuff out of storms. And she grew up, she married, of course, and she had a few kids, and she would tell fortunes. Well, she was so famous for it that got people like General Washington, General Gage, Burgoyne, all came to see her because they wanted to know the outcomes of their next plans and battles. Ship captains and sailors would dock their boats for weeks until she said it was okay to sail. She read tea leaves and things like that. And often a lot of people would say, hey, can you help me find buried treasure? And she'd say, you fools. If I knew where it was, why would I tell you?
She was basically a rags to riches.
Yeah, and she was very, very famous. When she passed away, a proper stone really wasn't put in her place in Lynn until, middle 1800s, I believe. And there's actually a book, Mal Pitcher's Prophecies. You can read out.
Oh, what's it called again?
Mal Pitcher's Prophecies.
Excuse me.
It's a very old book, so you can actually get it for free on like archive.org. Mal Pitcher's
Prophecy.
Prophecy.
You know who can get this for me? Is Deb Horan, my buddy at...
Yeah.
She is amazing at what she can find.
And you can download it for free from archive.org because it's also out of copyright for like 150 years.
She got me a book about... she's gotten me a couple. Did you ever listen to Jerry Williams? I'm a talk show freak. Did you ever listen to him?
No.
She got me a book about him. And I loved it. Because my father was in radio, an announcer who he was a founder of WID, in Biddeford, Maine.
Oh, okay.
Founder of that, and an announcer. He was a radio announcer all over New England. Mom wanted to be an actress. So they met in English class in Emerson.
Yeah.
And he told the guys, I'm going to ask Florence out today. And they said, she won't go with you. She won't go with any of us. Mom was focused on one thing, stage. And she was serious. She said, so she told the boys, she said to the guys, my mother won't let me date. Dad didn't buy that for 1 minute.
Yeah.
I think he went all the way from Massachusetts to where, she lived in, I don't know, maybe Rockland, I don't know. He went to the door. And I think her mother opened the door, and he said, hi, Mrs. Hurdle. I understand that, is Florence here? I understand that you would not like her to date. And Grandma Hurdle said, I never said such a thing. Mom was sunk. She said he could sell ice to Eskimos. He was in sales, too.
Yeah.
Where did you get your great Katsula shirt?
Arlene got it for me.
Well, you and I both are black today. I knew you'd be black.
Yeah, because we have a cat like this we just got. He was a feral cat. It was a little kitten, a feral cat. And we were feeding him, and finally we got him to be able to come in the house. And he's been with us now for 2 years. His name is Boo Bear.
Boo Bear?
Boo Bear, yeah.
Don't let him go out. He could get run over eaten now.
Yeah, no, he doesn't go out anymore because of that. He bolts everywhere. He's too excitable. But he's a big black cat. And he loves to play. He loves to play with our bunny. They hang out together. He's just really
Do you have a dog?
unbelievable. No dogs.
No dog.
4
Well,
cats.
besides the Blackstone Valley Express, haven't I seen you in other?
Was with the Smithfield Times. They just closed. I wrote for Fate magazine.
The Fate, yeah.
Yep, Fate.
But something around here I can pick up?
No, not at present.
Why are they closing down? They're adorable, all these. Oh.
I know. Well, paper magazines are tough, and the advertising, if they don't get the amount of advertising they're looking for, then...
Did you hear about our good friend, the Rambler? I think he met you. Rod Lee?
Yeah.
He has now stopped the Rambler. God bless you, Rod.
Oh.
You're a heck of a journalist. And I had a column in there.
He worked for them. Yeah, Rod Lee.
Who does?
Rod Lee worked for a time for, I think, them.
Yeah, he's
Blackstone
terrific.
Valley.
They lost their only child, their son.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Recently.
Wow.
I won't go into why, but I can't believe it. I didn't know the last time he was on here it would be his last time to be on the show. Rod, we love you, and thank you so much for allowing me to have a column in the Rambler. He says it's time for this journalist to kind of hang it up and get going, I guess, with other things. And we're talking again with Thomas D'Agostino. Tom is an author, paranormal researcher, and investigator. Investigator. And he has written this latest book, Ghost of King Philip's War. You can get this over at the Upton Center, where we have our library now, right up the street.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever get up this way, like Milford or?
Sometimes, yeah. Well, we were kind of up this way when we were doing that book. Riding all around here because of all the places you'll see within the proximity of 3 or 4 towns.
You should talk to the not only to Matt. I don't know if you met him ever. The director over there about giving a presentation. They've got a big room. Also, right down the hall is the senior center, and they would probably love it too.
Oh yeah, we've done plenty of those. Yeah.
You've been in there?
No, not there, but other places.
I think that you would love to go over there after you leave here and bring the book copy over there. Talk to them over there and get you in, because people would love this.
Yeah, because it's right here.
And you're going, and you're going to go see the cave with he brought his friend with him today. You're going to see the cave. You've never seen the cave, right? No, neither have I. It goes back further than I thought.
Yeah, it's so, deceptive.
How many feet?
Oh, God, I think the entrance is 14 feet, and then it's huge. It's like the size of this room and about this tall.
What is your belief about that?
I believe it was aliens and werewolves. No, I don't know. I mean, because of the corbelled roof, that's very Celtic in origin.
Celtic, yeah, I'm part Celtic.
That wouldn't be something that the indigenous people would do.
No.
And it definitely wouldn't be a storage place for food, because there's no out. You need a flow.
Was it something to do with they did the weather with that? Someone said.
Someone said it might be that there was an area where you could see the solstice.
Yeah, but that's nice.
Or
but
the equinox.
That's too nice
during
for
the
that.
day, or the sun rising during the solstice or the equinox, something like that. But whatever it was made for, it was definitely made for a purpose that wasn't for storing food like a lot of people think. Because, again, if you put food in a place like that, it's going to get dank, wet, and rot.
Yeah.
You can't, and it's above ground.
You think they lived in there?
It could have been, somebody could have lived there. That's a long opening, which would also say, hey, look, if animals may not want to shy in that far, so you have a long opening.
Animal things?
Animals could go inside, so I don't know if anyone actually lived there. It's a kind of a Why would you do that when there's so much wood around? You could build
How
an
many
actual
people built
house.
it? How many would have built it?
Oh, I don't know. It could have been a few. Some say it might have been one of the sweat lodges that John Eliot was part of building
Yeah.
for when he was converting people to Christianity. Then there's the we don't know.
How many times you been over there?
3.
And your friend that you brought
This will be
today,
the
he's in
fourth.
the audience, has never been there. We've got to go. We're going to get you back. What's the next book coming up?
The next book is Ghosts of Middlesex County, Connecticut.
Yeah.
And that's really cool because that area is really full of strange and weird ghosts.
Middlesex County. I lived in New Canaan, Greenwich, and Stanford. But that's further down.
Yeah, that's right in the center, below Hartford,
Yeah.
right on the water and up just before Hartford.
When's that coming out?
That'll be coming out in September.
You got to let me know.
Yeah, I will.
You will. You got to let me know about these things. Our own Aussie.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you for being with us.
Oh, thank you
We'll
very
have him
much.
on again because you have been on this show. Were you on when we began when we had our new studio in 2015, or before when we were temporarily at the fire station?
Yeah, 2015.
Right here. And the chairs were different because
Yep.
that was before the pandemic. Our guests used to sit, practically right beside me.
Mm-hmm.
But when we had the pandemic, we closed down for a couple months.
Mm.
Then the studio changed. People would wear their mask to here, take it off quickly to talk, and they put it back on when they left. And, people like it this way. I like it this way. I like look straight at you.
Yeah,
Thank you
that's
for
kinda
being with us. And thank you for my book.
Thank you
I
for
can't wait
having
to
me.
read it. We'll see you next time on Be My Guest.
Riding on a shooting star, heading out toward a dream. Tomorrow's even closer than it seems.